snippets and the last video, which is the 45 plus.
At 45 plus, we stand at a unique crossroads. We have the experience, the networks, and the influence to shape tomorrow. But our greatest impact might not come from what we do, but from what we enable the youth to do. Whether you're a CEO, politician, regulator, or judge, you have the power to be an enabler. Youth, 2.2 billion strong, but with less than 2% representation in decision making, have the energy and vision to solve our biggest challenges. They need us to open doors, not stand in their way. If you are a leader who sees the urgency of now, explore TISeed.com. If you are a purpose-driven investor, connect with me. I'll refer exceptional teams that are back to you. And if you're an investor or fund, like Y Combinator or Village Global Capital, with teams you think fit TISeed's vision, have them pitch to us. The next generation has the vision and capability to create a better world. Let's ensure they have the opportunity to do so.
Okay, so let's move to the last section, which is this 45 plus. So here's a little bit of a provocative statement. So it's not necessarily that they're going to come from Silicon Valley or Shanghai. They'll come from empowered youth with bold ideas. Some of them could come from India. The question is, will you be the leader who enables them or the one who blocks their path? So one of the tough things in India is that the innovation ecosystem is not supportive, but it can change. And, so for instance, Infosys was built even long time back when the ecosystem was not that supportive. It got help because it was getting foreign exchange and all that kind of stuff. But still, this is one of the difficult challenges that you have to overcome. So one of the things that people ask me is that, this is too difficult, building a $1 trillion impact company. Yes, it is. You don't build $1 trillion impact companies if it was easy. If it was easy, then everybody would build them. Then you'll have a lot of competition, and then you won't be able to have $1 trillion impact, right? So, it's obvious that you have to, as a $1 trillion impact founder, attract really talented people, solve really difficult problems, and only then you will be able to succeed, right? So now, who are all the leaders, like politicians, bureaucrats, judiciary, regulators, corporate leaders, educational leaders, media leaders? So you can read all this. Like if you look at media leaders, you can spotlight youth innovations that transform billions of lives or chase clicks. Which story will you tell, right? So similarly, judiciary, 40 million cases are pending in Indian courts. AI could reduce resolution time from years to months. Will you be the judge who embraced this transformation or the one who let justice remain delayed? So these are little snippets, right? Legacy for politicians. Bureaucrats, you can be the bureaucrat who enabled UPI to process more digital payments than the US and Europe combined, or the one who said it can't be done, right? And stuff like that. Regulators. PayPal's success was enabled by regulators who gave innovation room to breathe. Will you be remembered for enabling the next PayPal or blocking it? Education, right? Universities still prepare students for jobs that AI will eliminate. Transform education now or become irrelevant. So these are little things here. So now there is a blueprint here, which I would encourage all of you to read, right? And then try and convince your leaders, and the Global Youth Platform could help in that, right? As to saying, so this has some really what you call hatke thinking, which is like saying, why can't a request for proposal from the government be one page, right? Saying, I want to eradicate poverty. You give me a proposal which tells me how. If you give me a proposal, you must have 100 crores of capital, or if I give you conditional approval, then you must be able to raise 100 crores within the next 6 months. Okay, you must give me performance guarantees, right? Like that you will actually accomplish something, etc. So instead of like this whole, like, say a detailed project report, this, that, and the other, etc., because the government, the bureaucrats, the politicians, etc., regulators, they don't know innovation, right? That is why they are regulators, bureaucrats, and that's why entrepreneurs are not politicians, bureaucrats, or regulators. These are different DNAs, right? So if they enable the entrepreneurs, then so then there's a other concept called negative use of public money. So what do I mean by negative use of public money? So suppose now I want to transform education in a state. One way is I say, okay, I'm going to give you an RFP, and we have a state education budget. So I'm going to fund this whole software and I'm going to subsidize it and do all this kind of stuff, right? But the state doesn't own the IP of or it will own the IP, but it will not sell the IP to other things and make it a global company. So it's actually purchasing something which is useless for the state, but very valuable to an entrepreneur. So if the state gave the entrepreneur a lab, okay, and they said that, by the way, because we are giving you a lab, you have to give us some portion of your founder's equity, right? Now, if that company became a $1 trillion company and the state had 1% of it, then the state will make money instead of spending money. So this is the thing of negative use of public money. My wife and me, we just came back from a vacation in Dubai. And, the myth is that Dubai had a lot of oil wealth, but that's not true. Abu Dhabi had a lot of oil wealth, but not Dubai. But Dubai was able to attract a lot of investment and became a tourist hub, and and things like that. So it's a question of, like, every time we say, like India can transform or Mumbai will become like Shanghai or whatever, then people say, where's the money, right? The question is, you don't need to have the money. You need to create the structure where people feel comfortable investing money and that they'll get a return. Okay. So this is very important to understand, and our current leaders don't understand this. Okay. So this needs a little bit of, whether they're regulators, they're bureaucrats, they're this thing. But you, the youth, have a great advantage, because maybe your parent is a bureaucrat, maybe your parent is a politician, maybe your parent is a judiciary member or whatever, right? So you can say, oh, I read this. Does this make sense? Whatever, right? And find out. Yeah. So the last is the purpose-driven investors. So these are people like me. So I believe I'm not alone. There are lots of people, like, for instance, I know the PayPal mafia. In India, there may not be that many people who want to do this, but there may be, and stuff like that. So a lot of us have made money. We want to make impact. And this kind of structure may be a great way of making impact, but it'll be up to the exceptional youth teams to show us that they are exceptional and worthy of our spending time with them, right? Okay, so with that, I'm going to stop.